Hey, it's Gothy, and I'm doing a very quick February wrap-up. I didn't read as many books this month. In January I read 19 books. For February I only read 7 because life once again got in the way big time. I mean, I didn't even get much stitching done over the last part of February, so yeah, thanks life. Yeah, it really sucks sometimes. I did buy a couple of books, and I'll haul those as well in a moment. So the books that I did read were, I've just pulled it up on Goodreads rather than waste a piece of paper. So the first one was Fireborn by Kerry Arthur, and that is a new book. It's a new series. It's a Phoenix one. Was it the first book in the series? Huh, okay. I thought, like, when I picked it up, I thought it was the second or third book in the series, but according to Goodreads, it's the first one. I did really enjoy it. I gave it a 4 out of 5 stars. I've always been a big fan of Kerry Arthur, and the fact that, yeah, most of her books, actually I'm pretty sure all of them, all the different series take part a different part of Australia, that's also really cool. So it's a really interesting take on phoenixes and vampires. It's still very much like her other series, where it's about, you know, paranormal investigations, paranormal police, detective, that sort of thing. Really interesting. I really did enjoy it. The next book I read was Trial by Fire by Josephine Angelini, which is book 1 of the World Walker trilogy. I thought it was quite interesting. I think my only I don't even think, like, I'm having mind fart right now. My only problem with it is that it's yet another book where she's thrust into a world and she has these powers and she sort of acts helpless, and I don't know, I'm just kind of, at this point, I'm sort of getting over reading about female characters who rely on everyone else around them to come into their powers and to get stronger and to beat things and stuff. It's starting to get a little old. Yeah, and this is not a, oh my god, feminism, and, you know, if we need, yeah, it's not one of those things, oh, you know, sick of females relying on males. I'm just really sick of main characters having to rely on everyone else. You know, but it just seems to be more predominant with female main characters. I would really like to see a female character that gets put into a shitty situation and just fucking takes charge. And, you know, doesn't need anyone to help her out and stuff. I'm just kind of getting over that sort of trope, I guess. Yeah. Also, I'm kind of over this whole thing, as well, with characters with love triangles, and one of the guys, like, characters that get stuck in love triangles that the two people that they're choosing from are both toxic and horrible people in some sort of way. Like, that's just starting to get kind of frustrating too, so I think it may be time for me to stop reading young adult for a little while and kind of detox from that. So the next book I read was Above by Isla Morley. Morley? Not sure. I gave it a 4 out of 5 stars, and this was something a little different to what I usually read. This is about a young girl who is abducted by a survivalist, and locked away in a missile silo because this guy has sort of fallen for her and has decided that, like, he's scared of the world ending. He thinks it's going to come about soon, and he takes her, I guess, in a sort of, you know, we have to repopulate afterwards sort of thing. She, like, it's pretty screwed up. I will put it out there that there is scenes of sexual abuse, rape, and I mean obviously abduction. But the ending was not what I expected, you know, like I sort of expected it to go in the way of most thriller sort of stuff, and um, you know, for it to end up that, you know, he was just crazy and um, the world wasn't ending and he's just, yeah, crazy. But yeah, not what happened. Um, so I want to put those warnings out there that there are some things in there that aren't. I mean, nothing. There's nothing graphic. There's nothing gory. There's nothing graphic. There's not a lot of detail, but these things are present. So I'm going to put a little trigger warning on it. And yes. Next, I read Prince Lestat by Anne Rice, which is the 11th book in the Vampire Chronicles, and I actually did a separate review for that, so I'll put the link to that below. I loved it. I love Anne Rice, and I really do hope she keeps writing Vampire Chronicles. I gave it a 5 out of 5 stars, and yeah, I just want more Vampire Chronicles. Lots and lots and lots more. Then I read, what was next? Pivot Point by Casey West. This one, I kind of went in, I didn't want to read the back of it. It's been something that's been on my to-read list for a long time. Saw it at the library, picked it up, and was really, really happy with how it ended up, and really unique idea. Well, it's not something that I've really read before. I will definitely be picking up the rest of the series, and yeah, I found it really interesting, and yeah, I'd like to read more of it and find out if there's. I mean, of course, there's going to be consequences and stuff to what she knows and what she can know. So yeah, I really did enjoy that. That got a 5 out of 5 stars as well. Then I read Firefight by Brandon Sanderson, which was book 2 in the Reckoners series. And I actually just finished reading Mitosis today. Started and finished reading Mitosis, which is just a little novella that takes place in between Firefight and the first book, Steelheart. I loved it. 5 out of 5 stars. I really need to get around to picking up the Mistborn trilogy. Just because I have a feeling I'm going to love that just as much as I love this series. I'm really bummed out because now I have to wait another year for the next book. That bums me out because I want to read the rest of it now. So this one is, yeah, they go to a different city to take on different epics. Yeah, and he makes a few discoveries about where epics get their weaknesses from, which I love the concept of. I mean, I love the concept of epics having these, you know, insane powers, and then having a weakness that, you know, that kind of counteracts it. And now that we have an idea of where these weaknesses come from, it just makes it even more interesting, and I really like the idea. So I've been gushing about this series too. And the last book I read for February was Prodigy, which is book 2 in the Legend series. I was enjoying it until right at the end. I had to say that little twist at the end, you know, in regards to Day. I had a feeling something like that was going to come up. I was really hoping it wouldn't. I don't know, I hate it when series pop up and they're just like, oh, and now this is happening, and, you know, surprise. I don't know, I don't like that being the twist. Like, I think it would have finished nicely if they were just dealing with the political side effects of the rebellion and everything else, and yeah, I don't know. I don't like it. I'm just having a look what other people thought, and I'm seeing lots of good ones, but I don't know, I don't like the way that the thing popped up at the end, and I can't say, huh. Although I will say again that again, this is another YA book where there's not quite a love triangle. There's like a love square, but I'm just not. I'm not. Yeah, I'm kind of getting over that sort of thing. So I think I'll definitely stop reading YA for a little bit, which is alright because I've got a bunch of other books. Like I've got a bunch of books I've borrowed from the library, so I'll probably get through those, and then hopefully start getting through some of the ones on my shelf. In theory. So the books that I got, I'm just going to grab them. I've put them on my desk before. So, I got this one off Bookmooch, and it's The Kite Runner by Khalid Hosseini. I read the graphic novel for this in January, and went on to Bookmooch, found one. It's also a book crossing book, which is really cool. So I've been thinking about joining book crossing as well. And, you know, getting books from all over the place. And then apart from that, I got a couple of random books that looked interesting off Booktopia. They had a free shipping offer, and I went through their bargain section. And, yeah, so this one is called Shovel Ready, and it's by Adam Sternberg. This one is about someone who used to be a garbage man, and then a bomb hits Times Square, and it's sort of like a, I'm not going to say it's sort of like a post-apocalyptic sort of thing. It's more like a post-disaster sort of thing. But basically, used to be a garbage man, and he becomes a hitman because of the way things change. I thought it was something interesting, something I haven't read before. Also picked up a copy of The Bone Season by Samantha Shannon. I've heard a lot of really good things about this, and this was $4, I think, $4 or $5 in the bargain section, so I picked it up. This is I think this is a crime sort of thing, supernatural crime. Like, I have heard good things about it, so I will give that a go as well. This was a random one that I picked up called In Darkness by Nick Lake. I really do like the cover design. So this is about someone who is trapped beneath the rubble in an earthquake. And then just about a bunch of other people who are, you know, sort of, so it's about this kid teenager, who is trapped underneath rubble in an earthquake. So, yeah, I thought I would give that a go as well. This one's called Ostrich by Max Green. And this one was, this is one of those coming of age sort of stories, which this one was like $1 or $2, so I picked it up anyway because it looked interesting. And I picked up this one, which is supposed to be a Romeo and Juliet set in Bondi, which is near Sydney in Australia. Bondi or Byron Bay? Yeah, so basically it's set in Sydney, and because one of the books in the Pop Sugar reading challenge is to read a book set in your area, this is one of the closest I could find. I mean, there aren't any books that I know of that are set in Western Sydney, so Sydney will have to do. And this was $2, so yeah. Those are all the books that I've got. I have a couple more on their way from Bookmooch. The only other thing I did buy was a adult colouring book. I'm really, really into this trend. I approve of this trend, and I love this. This one's by, designs are by Martin Noble. I'm going to be looking at some of his other ones. So this is the one that I've done so far. I kind of screwed up with the wrap around her, but I'm quite happy overall with how that's turned out. Not bad considering I have some really shitty quality, cheapo pencils and not a lot of colours to choose from. But yeah, I'm really happy with this one. Like, there are some really nice. I love that one. And yeah, got some males in there too, of course. And some very tattooed people. No, I just really like this one. And I'm going to be looking at getting some more of them. Some more adult coloring books because I really I like coloring and I don't always like drawing first, so yeah. They're really pretty. I really like them. Plus, I am in a stage where I'm teaching myself to color a bit better. Again, it's really hard when I don't have a lot of colors to choose from, and my pencils are not the greatest quality, but I think I'm doing pretty good, regardless. So, that's all I have for this month. Like for February. For March, I'm currently finishing one book, and I have two graphic novels. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. I have 11 books from the library that I have to finish. So hopefully they will go quickly. A few of them are YA as well, because my local library, has really stepped up their YA game, and they've got a lot of new stuff there, and I get distracted with it, and by the time I finish having a look at the YA section, I can't actually carry any more books, so I can't go over to the adult section and pick up any more, because I just can't carry that many in the chair. So, yeah, that's it for me now, for now, and I will see you guys later.